It was just another Sunday. Nothing special. Coffee warming our hands. Soft music spilling from her phone. The scent of clean laundry hung in the air. We were folding clothes together, the kind of quiet routine that usually brought comfort. That's when she said it, calmly, like commenting on the weather. Sometimes I wonder if I should have ended up with Daniel. I didn't register it at first. I waited for a laugh, maybe her crooked smile, some hint that she was joking, but none came. She kept folding a towel, eyes low, voice light, like it was just a passing thought. "What did you say?" I asked. She didn't blink, met my eyes and replied, "Maybe life would have been easier." Daniel always had drive. He made me feel seen. He didn't settle. She gestured around the room. Our home, our life, like all we had built was some kind of resignation. Something in my chest curled in on itself, tight and heavy. I didn't respond. I just walked downstairs, told myself I misunderstood, that I was overreacting. But she didn't follow. No, that came out wrong. No explanation. Just silence. That night, I stayed on the couch. Not because she told me to, because suddenly the distance between us felt impossible to bridge. I lay there thinking about Daniel, the one who vanished after college, left her heartbroken in my arms. And now, years later, she says she wonders if he was the right choice. Something cracked in me that day. I stopped sharing the small things. I worked late. I sat in the car after getting home, engine running, trying to find the strength to walk through the door. She noticed, asked what was wrong. I lied, said I was tired. That was partly true, but I was slipping away, piece by piece. Not with fights or yelling, just a slow retreat. I stopped laughing. So did she. Dinner became routine. We looked like strangers eating in a quiet house, and I couldn't stop picturing him, Daniel. This perfect memory of hers, always just out of reach, always better than me. Then came the night she came home late. No text, no call. I waited. At 10 p.m., she walked in, nervous, restless. Said she met an old friend for drinks. Didn't name him. She didn't have to. Was it him? I asked. She nodded. I didn't yell. I didn't ask questions. I quietly packed a small bag, not out of rage, but because I had nothing left to fight for. Maybe you need to figure out what you actually want, I told her. She looked like she wanted to speak, but I stopped her. I'm not mad. I'm just done. And I left. No slammed doors. Just silence. I stayed at a friend's for a while, then found a short-term rental. She texted once, called twice, said I misunderstood, didn't mean it that way. I didn't reply, and in the quiet that followed, I noticed something strange. I felt lighter. Sad, yes, but unburdened. I woke up early, started running again, cooked for myself. I remembered the version of me that existed before I spent years bending into someone else's idea of a partner. I saw clearly just how much I'd been shrinking to be enough for someone who never stopped glancing at the what ifs. A few months later, I filed for separation. No anger, no spectacle, just clean distance. Then one afternoon, she showed up at my door. She looked different, pale, worn out, like someone who finally heard their own thoughts. She told me she saw him again, Daniel. Said they barely spoke. Said he hadn't changed. Still charming. Still full of shiny dreams that didn't land. She looked at me with tears in her eyes and whispered, I was wrong. I thought I wanted adventure. But what we had, that was real. You stayed. And I broke that. I believed her. I really did. But by then, it didn't matter. Because when someone finally sees your worth, it's often after you've learned to stop needing their eyes to feel it. I didn't hate her. Never could. But I wasn't the man who stood in that kitchen, blindsided and hollow. I'd grown. So I told her, gently, I'm glad you see it now. But I'm not coming back. She dropped to her knees, crying. I didn't slam the door in her face. I closed it softly, calmly, because for the first time, I wasn't trying to hold on. I was finally choosing peace, for the man who'd stopped begging to be enough.